Ladies and gentlemen, here's the real reason, from my perspective, but I think it's the real reason, of course, why Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter or eventually own enough of Twitter to call the shots and control the fate of the company. He's now looking at joining with partners. He doesn't even need to. What does he have, $280 billion? Something along those lines. He doesn't even need to. He could buy Twitter outright. What he should do is completely dissolve it and own the brand and never and just ensure that it ceases to exist. Twitter is a dystopian cyber nightmare. It exists simply. It's not at 290 billion. It's not a global commons or town square, or it is a political tool for one political party, the Democratic Party, to silence stories like Hunter's emails that show clear violations of the law, obvious pay-to-play schemes, going up to the highest echelons of the wonderful Democratic Party, the highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrats who wanted to hide emails stating, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company, Hunter? And, I give 10% to the big man, meaning mashed potato brains, his father. And, of course, the DNC emails that said that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Well, that was a plot by another country. The Twitter is a place where Democrats could create their own myths and then complain about lies that Trump tells. They can say that, he was installed by the Kremlin. And Bernie Sanders, the reason we know that he was cheated, was a fair and neutral primary. But we know this because the DNC emails were hacked by the Putin. And, it's all their fault. If another country wants you to know the Democratic Party's corrupt or there's illegal behavior, that undermines democracy. Oh, but look at Trump. He's not accepting things. Oh, no, he's lying again. Meanwhile, they believe that he cleared Lafayette Square. There's a 7-hour gap in communication with his in the congressional hearings. That wasn't true. It was landlines and cell phones. Oh, Donald Trump Jr. was notified of the emails. Oh, that wasn't true. There's an endless list of things. Of stories, an endless list of stories that were not true, amplified on Twitter. The Steele dossier was amplified on Twitter and publicized and spread throughout the universe because of social media companies, especially Twitter. It is a dystopian nightmare that Democrats have full control of. That's why you have the blue checkmark journalists absolutely paranoid, apoplectic, just horrified that Elon Musk might allow free speech. If Democrats don't have every single possible advantage, from Jimmy Kimmel and late night talk show hosts to social media algorithms, if they can't silence anyone, by the way, it's not just Trump or DeSantis, it's Tulsi Gabbard, it's anyone on the left or anyone on the right or anyone who disagrees with wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats, they're undermining democracy, and you know what? It's okay if they purchase a dossier or an Alpha Bank narrative or whatever against Trump and indict people around him simply because they spread and disseminated these documents within the United States government, and all those dossiers and documents were purchased by Trump's direct political rivals. Okay. In addition to that, all you do on Twitter generally is fight and argue and get into problems with people. So, and if you have a viewpoint that's not mainstream, you're going to get, you're going to have no-name, nameless people target you, go after you, they'll hide behind their profiles, and whether it's they'll try their best to torment you or to insult you behind a fake profile, but also they might say, oh, you know what, make a disturbing comment about your life. And so that's why, for example, on a different note, I have firearms. I'm an advocate of the Second Amendment because I had to deal with people on Twitter, or, an individual on Twitter went to the police department. They said, yeah, you know what? You could file a police report using the profile of Twitter name. I don't have Twitter anymore. So like about a year after that, I left Twitter. Less than a year after that, I left Twitter. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. You should definitely delete your Facebook and Twitter account, even Instagram too. There's no reason. You go to a party, you eat a steak or whatever. You don't need to show the world. If you really want to, show everybody what a wonderful, sushi roll you had, email them. You don't need to show it and tweet it out or Instagram it out or whatever to the whole world. There's no point to it. Social media is like a scourge upon humanity. But they're going to be used, the real reason, if you've lasted this long and hit subscribe to this channel, that Elon Musk is going to eventually buy Twitter, the real reason is that they're going to use it against him. Democrats, you have people like Robert Reich, these people, highly educated, wonderful. Do you think Robert Reich, wonderful professor, do you think he cares about Dianne Feinstein's stock purchases? Or Richard Burr's stock purchases? Or Nancy Pelosi's after classified briefings? Are you kidding me? Like the essence, the definition of insider trading, far worse than anything Elon Musk is said to have done. Infinitely worse. You have Democrats buying and selling stocks immediately after classified briefings. Are you kidding me? And, let's not even get into the Hunter and James and Joe scheme. It's like right in their emails where they're trading their name. And nobody is giving these people $80,000 a month because they're intelligent. They're giving $80,000 or $50,000 or millions of dollars in consulting fees because they want access to the U.S. government, or they want the possibility, or they want not just access, they want the opportunity to have their case or have their businesses treated in a better manner than other businesses. I can go into it, but I'm not even going to. You already saw the foundation with Uranium One. The New York Times broke that story or wrote about that story in 2015. Hunter's emails are very clear. You can look at Lieutenant Governor of New York. You can look at the mega donor that was just indicted and arrested for horrific crimes, Democratic mega donor. You could look at about 11, just in a quick Google search, Democrats who were indicted and arrested. You can't find 11 Republicans in a quick Google search. And for really horrendous crimes, people at CNN, but also Arizona State Senator. You could type in Arizona State Senator and Democrat and see the crimes that he's accused of. Or people at CNN, the crimes they're accused of. We can go on forever. Nothing compared to if you have liberal Democrats saying, "Oh, Elon Musk is doing this or that," classified briefings, and then you sell your stock. That's insider trading. And of course, they're being investigated and nothing happens. Gee, I wonder why. But they're going after. He knows that they can use Twitter as a platform to go after him and to try to take down whatever empire he's built. It's not just altruism, although I think that Elon Musk is altruistic in many ways. I think that he's a very intelligent person, critical thinking, he has immense critical thinking skills. And he doesn't play by the paradigm, the normal paradigm of thought. People want to be accepted in this world. They want to be accepted. That's why you have wonderful liberal Democrats who purge friends and family of Trump supporters, not understanding that the Lincoln Project opposes Trump, which is, that alone is the best reason to vote for Trump or DeSantis or Tulsi Gabbard or anyone the Lincoln Project opposes. These are the same people who are like, "Oh, I opposed the wars 20 years ago when Bush was." Oh, then why do you retweet the Lincoln Project, imbecile? Because you're an imbecile. That's why. But anyway, the people who want to silence and push for never-ending conflict, military quagmires, who want to blame other countries. They say that Trump did, but he really didn't. Who want to resurrect Cold War hysteria. These are Democrats. These are the ones who claim to oppose authoritarian governments. They're the most authoritarian, okay? But they need Twitter to promote and to amplify their nonsense, their They're myths. They literally purchase myths. And they could literally purchase myths against Elon Musk. They could try to get Ford, GM, any other company to get. They could push for those companies to become the leader in who knows, leader in electric car vehicles. There's a million ways that they could try to go after Elon Musk, and you could see they're just harnessing just a tiny fraction of the hysteria against Musk now on Twitter. Imagine if they pulled a Steele dossier on Elon Musk the way they did with Trump. And so Elon Musk knows this is not just altruism, it's called self-preservation, and it's actually an amazing strategic move. It's not just a tactic, there's strategy behind it. He's not just buying Twitter. Twitter is a failed company. I would have been right about that too. It would have gone bankrupt eventually had Elon Musk not purchased it or resuscitated this miserably failed company. It makes first of all, they lie about their daily monetizable users. That was a huge lawsuit that they lost. They make it up. Okay, they have $4 billion in debt, and they increase their debt. They increase debt a lot faster than their revenues increase. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. He knows that they're going to go after him on Twitter. Democrats, other billionaires, people who don't like him. The mainstream, whether it's the Kinzinger, Cheney, Democratic Party mainstream, what they like is complete censorship, resurrecting Cold War hysteria, revering intelligence operatives that give them exactly what they want to hear, silencing dissenting voices, fabricating a consensus, and that's why that's what Twitter is all about. It's a place where you can go ahead and just get into arguments with people you would never meet in a million years and would never get in arguments with in a million years. If you remember that scene in Ghostbusters 1 or 2? Let me know in the comment section if you've lasted this long. What's the one with the bubbling slime with all the negativity? There would be enough slime to engulf the entire universe if you actually, had that with Twitter and had that correlate with how much negativity and base and horrible emotions there are on Twitter. Twitter is a way to project emotion, amplify and utilize emotion as a political tool. And Democrats have that through the algorithms. And it's basically a way to prop up lies and absurd myths and hoaxes from the Democratic Party, and then feign indignation with Trump and others. But Elon Musk knows they could use that platform against him, and so he's buying it up. And therefore, there you go, Democrats. One less major advantage. Imagine if the playing field was level. The Democratic Party wouldn't even exist without Jimmy Kimmel and Twitter. They have every conceivable advantage. New York Times. They have every conceivable advantage, and still mashed potato brains is like shaking hands with ghosts, and they're at an all-time low in terms of polling. With Trump, it was a little like 2 points lower, but he had all of media completely apoplectic against him every day for 4 years, believing that he was installed by the Kremlin. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Elon Musk is doing this for self-preservation. Give me